Guest is everybody. She's been on before. We all know her from San Diego County Gun Owners. She is the CEO of San Diego County Gun Owners, and she's also the project designer of our Not Me program. Wendy Hauffen, how are you, Wendy?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic.
So what are you doing? What are you doing there? Shouldn't you be here?
I will be soon. I'll be in the studio soon.
All right, we're gonna get a cardboard cutout and just put that in here.
There you go. So we did this really cool thing, and it was a lot of people got involved and came up with this really cool idea. You know, a few months ago, there were a lot of stories about a spike in violence against the Asian American community. Mm-hmm. So we put together a very cool panel discussion with 4 people, and Wendy participated, and it's up on our YouTube channel, and we want as many people to go and check it out as possible. So we invited Wendy to come on and talk a little bit about it. So tell us a little bit about what was the concept for the panel discussion.
Well, thanks for letting me share about it. So we invited a couple of folks on to talk about the spike in violence against Asian Americans, particularly why it's been happening. Why hasn't there been very much media coverage about it? At least, up until the time that we did the panel, there was almost no media coverage, and how we could address it. So just like our hosts shared before, we had Dr. Raymond Kim, who started Asian American Gun Owners of California. So they're very in tune with what's been going on in the Asian community in all parts of California. We had 9mm Musashi. He's a police officer in the Bay Area, also seeing the day-to-day happenings of crime against Asian Americans. And then Karen Wood, who is also of Asian descent, who helps run County Gun Owners, Riverside County Gun Owners, and myself. So we were really excited to share our thoughts about what are the sources of this crime, particularly against the Asian community, and ways that we could fight against it.
Yeah, and you guys did a really great job of explaining, what was happening, why it was happening, and then the one thing I was particularly impressed with was all 4 of you had very clear ideas on what to do to fix everything. And it wasn't just a bunch of platitudes. It wasn't just a bunch of, we all just need to get along better. It was, real helpful advice and information. And like you said, there wasn't a lot. This is something that's been happening. I guess it'd probably be, correct me if I'm wrong, Wendy, but you're good at that, correcting me when I'm wrong. It's kind of it's been a crime trend against the Asian community for years. And it just kind of it spiked a little bit this year, but it really wasn't a big spike. It's been a growing trend that the media just decided to start paying attention to. Is that an accurate way to put it?
Yes, absolutely. There's been some cultural shifts over the last few years that have caused an increase in crime against Asian Americans, and a lot of people don't realize that because there was a lot of noise about racism against Asians due to COVID, but it started long before that.
And if I just might jump in, I was under the impression that the attacks against the Asian community were not the younger generation; it was the senior Asian community. Am I right in that assessment?
A lot of the random crimes against Asians have been against elderly. Which is just makes it even more distressing that
pathetic.
There are people out there. Yeah. There are people out there who are targeting these older, single Asians walking around the street, random attacks against them while they're just strolling along on a sidewalk.
So that was one of the things that stood out was we were talking about COVID, Wendy, that was the narrative by the media that, it's a bunch, frankly, it was a bunch of Trump supporters that were attacking Asians because of they blamed them on COVID. And one thing I learned through listening to this panel is that wasn't the case at all. That this was Wendy. What's one of the reasons that, or one of the, one of the reasons
or
that
who are the people doing it?
Well, what's one of the reasons that Asians are being targeted in California that you guys talked about in the panel?
So there's a huge community of Asians all over the state of California, and a lot of them are immigrants. And one of the things that we discuss in detail in the roundtable is the culture of how Asians act when it comes to reporting crime or storing valuables. All of these things just kind of create this gold mine for attacks against Asians, because they really like to, stay under the radar. They don't want to make noise. They don't want to bother people. They don't want to bother the police, even though it's their job to do, to take care of and prosecute crime. They don't, Asians just tend to want to stay in their own bubbles and not make waves when it comes to things like reporting crimes against them.
So what do you hope people that watch this panel, Joe Lunchbox, everyday American that watches this panel, what do you hope that they get? What do you hope they walk away with? What message do you hope they walk away with?
Well, I would say that I hope the Asian community in particular understands that they're all in the same boat. We're not the only ones who are looking to protect ourselves. The Asian community and everybody in general wants to be able to protect ourselves. And so there are resources out there available. I work for a gun organization, so that's my way of protecting myself. Mm-hmm. You might know that I work for a gun organization.
And you do
so that's one way.
And you do a fantastic job. The CEO of San Diego County Gun Owners,
absolutely,
Wendy Hauffen. Check out SanDiegoCountyGunOwners.com. Go to Gun Owners Radio's YouTube channel and check out the Asian American panel discussion that we do on the Spike on Violence. And thank
Wendy,
you so much,
Wendy. Before you go, would this be a video parents should show their children?
Sure, absolutely.
Because that's where it's got to start. We got to get to the kids and change the narrative that they're getting from some schools. And I think this, to me, would be a perfect video for the parents to sit down and say, kids, get the popcorn. We're going to watch a great video.
And I want the kids to show this to their parents as well.
Exactly. You're exactly right. All right, kiddo, thank you very much. Is she coming back?
No, that's it.
All right, you're done. Too bad. Go Barbie.
Thanks for watching this clip from Gun Owners Radio. You can watch us live every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, right here on our YouTube channel, or if you're in the San Diego area, you can listen to us on 1170 a.m. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform for free. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can help restore and protect the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.